Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
I came across something yesterday which caused me to think of a question I've never been asked before on this channel, and that is rolling coal illegal? Is rolling coal illegal? Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, rolling coal, I'm just going to go with the definition from Wikipedia. Rolling coal is the practice of modifying a diesel engine to emit large amounts of black or gray diesel exhaust containing soot and incompletely combusted fuel. Rolling coal is used as a form of protest sometimes, and in some jurisdictions the practice is illegal due to it violating clean air laws. And so I've seen these trucks on the internet, and all of a sudden they start billowing smoke out their exhaust pipes, and they're doing it on purpose. And they can apparently turn it on or off. And the question is, would that be illegal to do? And the reason that this popped into my head is there's a car show in St. Ignace, Michigan, every year. And this year, it was huge, huge. St. Ignace is a town at the north end of the Mackinac Bridge, so it's in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. It's quite a hike from many major cities, but people will do the drive there because it's a cool town and a fantastic car show. And it's been, they've had this car show there for decades. And so I follow the car show on Facebook because I did not make it this year. And somebody simply posted a photograph of a ticket. And I believe it's real because I'm looking at all the things on it and everything lines up properly. And what the guy wrote was, I've been coming up here for years and kind of look what I got. And so what he has here is a ticket, and under the infraction it says 626B and then the word careless. And then underneath the remarks, it says rolling coal. Now, a lot of people pointed out that the police officer actually misspelled coal. It says rolling coil. It appears to say rolling coil. But I'm pretty sure it was supposed to say rolling coal. Rolling coal. But again, people are going to notice the misspelled word there. And the point here is that he's accused of rolling coal at a car show. And he is written for careless driving. Now, you should probably know, because I looked this up, some states have specific laws on the books that say rolling coal is illegal. Then they define it, and they talk about modifying your vehicle in such a way that you can make it on demand billow smoke out the pipes, okay? And so if you did that, they can get you for that under state law. Michigan has no such law that I'm aware of. However, you should also know that most vehicles these days come with all kinds of emissions controls, and those are governed by the feds, and the feds have come down hard on people who modify their emission controls. You should know that also. People are going to say, Steve, you hate trucks? You don't like rolling coal? I'm not commenting on whether or not you should be out rolling coal. I'm simply, as a lawyer, pointing out what the laws say, okay? I used to have an M35 Deuce and a half Army truck, a multi-fuel engine that I burned diesel in. And it would billow smoke pretty much all the time. But of course, it was built to military standards. That's different. However, let's get back to the gentleman who got a careless driving ticket, apparently for rolling coal, allegedly, at the St. Ignace car show. Keep in mind, as I always point out, he'd be innocent until proven guilty, except here it's a civil infraction. So the standard of proof is different. But careless driving in Michigan is defined as, and by the way, his ticket just says 626B. 626B, the reference there is to the Michigan Vehicle Code, section 257.626B, careless or negligent operation of a vehicle as a civil infraction. So first of all, keep in mind this is not a crime. If it was reckless driving would be a crime. But careless driving is a civil infraction. And the statute says a person who operates a vehicle in a place open to the general public in a careless or negligent manner likely to endanger any person or property, but without wantonness or recklessness, is responsible for civil infraction. And they say without wantonness or recklessness because in that case, it would be reckless driving. And that's serious. Careless, a little less serious. So it is the idea that you are operating your vehicle in a careless or negligent manner likely to endanger any person or property. So, speaking in this topic here, hypothetically, The idea and the question arises, was the rolling of the coal operating the vehicle in a careless or negligent manner likely to endanger any person? Likely means it doesn't have to actually cause harm, but if it would likely cause harm. And then, of course, careless or negligent manner. And the question is the rolling of the coal careless or negligent? And so you can imagine, and again, now I'm speaking hypothetically here. You can imagine if you're driving down the road one day and you're cruising along at the speed limit, and somebody in front of you decides to start rolling coal. Suddenly there's clouds of black smoke you can't see through. You can imagine that if you were to hit that unexpectedly at high speed, you might not be able to see where you're going, which could likely endanger a person or property, right? And by the way, keep in mind, property can be a car. On the other hand, if you were in a parking lot at a car show, and again, I'm making up hypotheticals here. If you're in a parking lot at a car show and people are firing up their vehicles and revving their engines and stuff, and you had a vehicle which you could flip a switch on and cause it to billow smoke, the question is, are you doing something by operation of the vehicle that is likely to endanger any person or property? Now, someone's bound to say, Steve, that smoke can't be good for you. Couldn't the smoke itself be a danger to somebody? What if somebody got a lung full of that smoke? I can see the argument. It seems a bit of a stretch to me, but I'm simply pointing out that in many situations, when you're looking at the facts of an actual case, you look at those facts and go, okay, what do these facts do and how do they compare to the statute we're looking at? On the other hand, sometimes when you're looking at a statute, ask yourself what kind of fact patterns there might be out there. What's the worst case scenario? What's the best case scenario? And so the worst case scenario for somebody who's rolling coal, hypothetically, is that they're zooming down the highway and it's heavy traffic but still moving pretty well, and they're weaving in and out of cars, blowing and rolling coal occasionally, causing people to lose their ability to see where they're going and creating a hazardous situation. You can see that as a possibility. On the other hand, like I said, if you are simply in a parking lot, your vehicle is parked, there's parked cars all around you, and people are doing stuff like revving their engines, or maybe they got lowriders and they're bouncing them, whatever they're going to do. And so you, with the vehicle still in park, it's not moving, there's no moving cars around you, okay? And you blow some smoke. Is that careless operation of the vehicle to such an extent that they could say that it was likely to endanger a person or property? And an argument can be made quite strongly that no, that's not the case. It's not the case. Now, I do not know the underlying facts of this ticket. And I'd be leery about talking about them anyway unless I saw it happen. Because I have had clients, and I've represented a lot of people on traffic tickets, I've had clients tell me, here's what happened. And then, of course, you hear the police officer's version, and it's like there are two different events. Now, could the police officer be wrong? Oh, of course. But sometimes you wonder. My job as an attorney is to go in and argue the best argument I can on your behalf. And if your story makes sense, I'll argue your story all day long and twice on Sunday. But if there are witnesses, then you might have issues because, you might say, I was parked in a parking lot, and they might pull up somebody who says no. Or they might have dash cam footage from inside the police car, or body cam footage of a police officer walking down the street watching what's happening on the roadway. So that's always the question. Now, in case you're curious what reckless driving is, because this is not reckless driving, but in reckless driving, it talks about if you are operating a vehicle in such a way that there is a willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property. Willful or wanton disregard for the safety of persons or property. You're doing something crazy that could get someone hurt, and it seems quite likely that that's going to happen. If you do that, misdemeanor, for which you can get jail time and fined of up to $500. Now, getting back to the careless driving, which again is 626B, in Michigan, Careless driving is $100 fine, max, and 3 points. Keep in mind that the fines and costs add up because there'll be court costs and other things tacked on there, but the $100 fine is the actual fine mandated by the state of Michigan. I should also point out that 3 points is a magic number. And this will vary a little bit from state to state and also from insurance company to insurance company. But many insurance companies will not flinch if you get a ticket for 1 or 2 points. You get 1 point in your license, nothing happens. 2 points, probably not. 3 points, a lot of insurance companies go, oh, you're a bad driver. We're going to ding you for that for a little while because we now consider you unsafe to insure. And so the crazy part is, if you got a ticket for rolling coal and got found responsible for that, then the 3 points you might get from that could hurt your insurance rates quite a bit. And if the vehicle wasn't moving at the time, it would seem kind of odd that your insurance rates would go up because of something you did when the vehicle wasn't moving. But I don't know if the vehicle is moving. Again, it's hypothetical. I'm simply talking about what could or could not happen. But the question that I posed at the beginning is rolling coal illegal? And here's the point. Some states, like I said, have got specific laws on it, okay? But apparently a bunch of states, but I don't even think half the states have got it. But again, here in Michigan, there's no specific statute on it. But hey, here's what we'll do. We'll call it careless driving. We'll call it careless driving. And so I can see a court saying, yeah, careless driving, this is it. This is careless driving. Because keep in mind, on a civil infraction ticket, you don't get a jury. It's a judge. It's a judge. So you're going to go in front of the judge. And let's suppose that you wanted to go in front of the judge and fight this and say, yes, I rolled coal. No, I wasn't careless. A judge is going to ask the police officer, tell me what happened. And the police officer is going to go, well, you know, as it's car show and there's vehicles in the road, there's one driving down the road, and all of a sudden it starts billowing smoke to where the car behind it couldn't see what was ahead of it. And spectators on the sidewalk 3 feet from the cars couldn't see either. And so all it takes, and this is the kind of argument that I hate to hear, but they'll make it, all it takes is one little kid who's standing there with his parents to look around and not realize where he is, to step in front of the truck or step in front of the vehicle behind the truck and get run over. That's what could have happened. And I've heard that argument so many times about what could have happened. But the problem is the way these statutes are written, it talks about whether it's likely to cause harm. Likely. And how likely is it? And the likelihood seems to go up a bit when you realize that it's not out on the freeway and there's several lanes of traffic and there's no pedestrians around. You're talking about a car show where people are standing on the sidewalk, walking around, and at car shows like this where a lot of vehicles are moving sometimes, and again, I don't know what the situation was because there were times where the entire road was blocked off and all the cars were parked. But I know they actually had a couple cruises through the town and, you know, so on, parades of cars. And I don't know if the guy got the ticket while the truck was moving or not. And that might make a big difference in how you defend the case. But again, the police officer who saw it, or says he saw it, wrote it as careless driving. And so my suggestion to somebody who got a ticket like this at this event, first of all, a lot of people drove in from very far away. The good news is a lot of this stuff can get handled via Zoom these days. In the old days, somebody actually have to go, oh, I gotta take care of this ticket. And I actually live in Iowa and I drove up for the show. That would be a difficult thing to take care of in the old days. Nowadays, via Zoom. But there's a good chance, and if I had to bet, there's a good chance that whoever got this ticket for careless driving could instead say, I'll plead guilty to something, or I'll plead responsible to something, but a lesser charge. And knock it from 3 points to 2. Because really what you want to do here is get rid of that third point. Now, if you want to, and you're in a situation like this, you can make the argument that my vehicle occasionally blows smoke. It just does that. My vehicle occasionally blows smoke, and nobody got hurt, and I think the officer's having a bad day. Everybody's having fun. What's the harm? And I could see potentially somebody saying, well, at the very least, you've got an equipment ticket because your vehicle occasionally blows smoke. That should be looked at by a mechanic. Maybe you should get an equipment ticket. But then again, if you get a fix-it ticket, they want to see evidence that you fixed it. But more often than not, if they write a lot of tickets at an event like this, there's a very good chance that you can get them to knock it from a 3-point to a 2-point, and you can tell them, I really just want to make sure I don't get that third point. Now, of course, if you've already got points on your license, it might not do you much good to lose one in the argument over a plea bargain, but you do what you can. You do what you can. So I have represented people at car cruises and car events who've gotten tickets for doing things and, shall we say, enjoying the festivities a little bit too much. And the question is, if somebody spins their tires and just lights them up, do they deserve a ticket for reckless driving, careless driving, or an unsafe start? And see, I would argue all day long that's an unsafe start. But I've seen people written for reckless driving, which, as noted above, was a misdemeanor for which someone can go to jail. And I have actually, because it's a misdemeanor, had clients who said, let's try this with a jury. And I've had 3 misdemeanor jury trials on reckless driving tickets issued at the Woodward Dream Cruise. One of which did result, unfortunately, in a guilty verdict. And I think my client was not guilty of reckless driving. However, the jury disagreed with me and him. And so there you go. But yes, rolling coal. Can you get a ticket for it? Yes. Will the ticket say rolling coal? Well, it might under the remarks section, but it might be written as careless driving. Other states, however, you can get written specifically for rolling coal because they have a statute right on point. So there you go. Questions or comments, put them below this. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. No matter how tall the mountain is, it cannot block the sun.